Morning, fellas. Gotta get these things dumped. We need room. Combine's gotta run. Got a couple days, we can get her done. Let's fire it up. All right, let's get the tractor fired up. Warm up the oil a little bit. I'll take the tarp off the truck. I gotta get an idea of how much grain I think's in the front hopper, because that hopper's got a different unit than that hopper. In other words, that land has got to be kept separate from that land. And then I'll write it down on the notebook as we go, so that way we know whose grain is what and where in the bin, because it's all going to one bin. I'm gonna need air on this morning. Good old Magnum, Mr. Reliable. All right, let's see, tarp. All right, let's check the back first. We'll open up there. I'd say close to 500 bushel back here. This can hold about 600 if it's up to the tarp hoops all the way to the center. So 600, 600. 1,200 if you fill this trailer up full. So that's about 100 some bushel in the end. So yeah, I'd say about probably just under 500 for the back hopper. Nice little steps right here and a platform to stand on. I like that about this truck. So just kind of judging on how much is back there and here. 350 probably in here. 350, 400, somewhere in that area. I bet I'm just gonna say 350. So 350 in the front, 500 in the back. That sound good to you guys? It's amazing how close we get at the end of the year. When we run the numbers and the acreage and the yield per acre and how it all turns out, it comes out really close. Because as we put these loads in here and I figure out, guesstimate how much I need to go in the bin, when that bin's full, we know how much that bin holds. And it's amazing, almost every year, what we said was in here comes out exactly the amount of bushels that's in that bin. Not patting ourselves on the back like that necessarily. I'm just saying that it comes out okay. If you got a good eye for it, you can measure it. Now, if you have a grain cart, a mother bin, or a bin chaser, or combine chaser, whatever you call it, auger cart, you can actually weigh your grain before it goes in the truck and then have logs there. We don't have that. We don't have a tractor that can pull a PTO, high horsepower PTO tractor. So let's get dumping this thing. Can't tell you how much nicer things are to do when there's daylight out. Not that the lights in these machines are not that good anymore. I mean, they're amazing, but there's just so much more you can see. That's why we try not to run at night if we don't have to, but we'll run a little bit. So let's get at it. So I was a little bit disappointed. I'm like, oh man, they need another cup holder in here, because, well, this is right where the throttle is. Not like it's a terrible spot for it, it's easy access, but then I was like, oh yeah, the buddy seat folds down and there's a nice tight cup holder there. See, they were thinking. They just had on the other side. Just gotta look on the other side. Been grinding away at the spring weight here. It's not doing very good. It's averaging about 11. The reason this isn't doing very good is it had manure spread on it 2 years ago. And you'd think it would have had more moisture on it. It's harder ground, that's why we had manure spread on it. But I think it was just too hot. Too hot as in the soil was too rich. There was too much nitrogen. It would have been great if we would have had the water. It would have grown a huge crop. But the plant was basically over-fertilized, is in essence what it was. So because of that, it's not doing very good. I'm sure the protein's gonna be off the charts. I bet we'll be seeing like, I don't know, 17, 18 protein wheat. I would not put it past it. But 10, 11 bushel, protein doesn't make up for that. You don't get enough of a premium to make up 10 bushel or 20 bushels. So disappointing, definitely disappointing. I was really hoping we'd see a little higher spring weight numbers. But, you know, we'll see. We'll just keep going, see how it unfolds as we go. I am liking the dual monitor, the two Pro 1200s. It is nice. I don't have to change that screen. I can just look up there, back and forth. Still getting a feel of it though. I find myself instinctively constantly using this screen to do everything when I realize, oh, that's right, I can put it up there or go back and forth. Oh, hi. That's leg arms. B-spine. anyways, looking good. So yes, it's a good duo. And I love this multi-function handle. It's been out for a while in a number of units, but I think the 250 series on up. But I love it. Ours don't have this one. It's nice. Still got to get the feel of it all with my feed rate at the top here. That basically makes the combine automatically speed up and slow down in the field depending on what's going inside. Obviously that's your lock on your GPS line, auto header height. There's just a couple things. Clean out auger. It's multi-functions. A lot of functions on it. So I'm trying to get a feel of that flow again because I can keep pressing the wrong button thinking it's the old multi-function handle. So, but yeah, we're good. That's open a little bit. Let's fix that. Now, being 10, 12 bushel wheat, it's not terribly hard for the combine to clean it because there's not a whole lot of material. So this is B-spine right here. Oh, look, a grasshopper. Never see those. Not around here. Honestly, the quality of grain isn't horrific. There's some small ones in there. But I mean, overall, it's not all shriveled. You could clean that down and actually get some seed out of that. I'd say B-spine's doing a pretty good job. Can't say it's losses, but you can see the unthrashed kernels. The light stuff here is an unthrashed kernel right here. A couple around. All right, this is the 9260. Again, not bad. Dead grasshopper. A little bit of straw. Overall though, I'm trying to see if unthrashed kernels are more or less. I'd say probably a little better on the 260 for sure, but not excessive. Both are looking pretty good, honestly. That's good. So we're gonna get some heavier stuff, a little more moisture. We'll see if that changes, but it looks like both machines are running like they should, so that's nice. I hope you're happy for that. Now I gotta do this. Can't stand grain in my boots. I'm not the kind of person that can just sit there and have grain kernels hiding in your boots all day. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Check out this seat. So far I figured out the lumbar and the AC. Right now my rear end is very cool. Feels very nice. And in and out. I'm not sure what that does. Oh, I wonder, hang on a second. Whoa. That's a seat massager. Hey, that's pretty sweet. Oh yeah. It's just on the back. But that's gonna be fun. All right, I learned something. Sure looks a little green. Now look in here, you can smell it and see it. See how it's mounting? See all that green in there? A lot of the field wasn't looking like that, but now as I go more and more to the east of the field, it's just getting greener and greener. It doesn't make sense because it was seeded at the same time. So I think we got to move to a different field because this is too high of moisture. It's probably well over 15, 16 moisture. All right, we're gonna go take a spin in the pickup and just see if we can find some acres that look a little better than this stuff. It just, not quite there yet. Since the stand wasn't super great due to the lack of moisture, there's a decent flush of kochia coming up underneath, and it's just almost the point where the header's starting to cut it, see like that? So that's ending up going through the combine. And we won't be able to get it all done in time, but that means a good chunk of the farm is probably gonna have weeds to start coming across the canopy here. And that just makes it not fun. It makes moisture in the tank, makes the combines work harder. Everything has to work harder to get through that. And we're spreading weed seeds all over the ground. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't spray it now or anything. So we'll just have to, well, spray these fields quickly as soon as harvest is done, and just basically cover the whole farm and try to knock these weeds down so that way we don't make more seeds if some of them haven't hopefully gone to maturity yet. All right, let's take a look here. So you can see like these, there's occasionally a green one hanging out down below right there, all those. And I think that's just spread out through this whole thing. I don't know, it's just a late maturity for this wheat, but I mean, every time that happens, that brings our moisture numbers up big time. And then I'll do a twist test. Okay, that's not bad. That was really good. Yeah, see, that straw's not bad, but it's just the green heads in here that's gonna bring those numbers up. All right, field number 2. This stuff's taller. This looks nice, like nice wheat. Right here, it's up to my knees, not up to my ankles like the rest of the stuff. Still got some weeds growing in here. Just not a heavy, heavy stand, but I'm just not seeing the green. I mean, that's pretty dry. That looks good here. Nice looking wheat. This could be 20, 25 bushel in this area.
Ooh, a little shriveled on this one.
All right, field number 3, this is the Montana field. This is 25, 30 bushel wheat here. This is good wheat. I'm actually really impressed. Good, I know, 30 bushel, I know you guys are laughing. 30 is good for us considering we've had 10 for the last 5 years. So, I mean, to see this on our farm is sure nice. I mean, I just being able to grab a handful of that. This looks good here. I think it's ready. We gotta tell the boss man too, Dad doesn't know yet. So I'm gonna wait till he watches this video in a week and a half, a week, and then he'll find out where we're at. You guys let him know, tell him in the comments. That'll help give him a heads up. Now we're gonna play a shuttle game. Shuttle everything over to the other field, about 2 miles away from here. So we'll run everything down to what we call the Montana field. Looks like Montana, the shape of the field. And eventually here we'll have Wiggles back on scene, so he'll grab a truck. He'll be in the action, the heat of the moment. We'll get all 3 combines down there and keep on rolling and get into that 25 bushel. I'm thinking 25 bushel. What do you guys think? I think it's gonna be 25 bushel. Maybe some 30 at times. It looks like good wheat from what we've been in. Whew. Yeah. We had that across the whole farm this year. Not that we'd be like killing it, but it would sure feel nice. This is our CRP wheat. This is the worst wheat on the whole farm. It's right next to it, but that's first year out of CRP, so it hasn't been farmed in over 20 some years, 30 some years. And we seeded directly into, we sprayed out the CRP and seeded directly into it. There's just no moisture in the ground at all. It is pathetic. That's gonna be a 1 bushel an acre there. But we'll just, you know, we'll get insurance on it. Not that that's how we wanted to play it. We tried to make a grow crop. But if it's not gonna grow a crop, that's what insurance is for. We live in a windy country. Usually it's always windy here. And wind, usually not wanted. Usually not. But there are a few times when I really appreciate wind. And that's when I'm following a truck on a freshly graded county road. Got a slight wind blowing it over, but it's sure nice when you have a nice wind that just shoves that dust right off the road and you can see exactly what's coming in front of you. All right, here we are. Okay, what is your guys' guess? Think it'll be over 20 bushels an acre? I think so. We'll see. That would be awesome. Dad hasn't said anything on the radio yet, so that's not a good sign. He's in there right now up there, so clearly he read your guys' comments from earlier and he found out where we're at. But yeah, with him not talking on the radio makes me wonder if it's not doing as good as he thinks. So we'll see. We'll find out here in a second. This down here is a little bit lesser quality ground. So I'm not expecting this to do well, but when we get over there, I think that's gonna be good. Uh-oh, what's that right there? That's coming right for us, see it? Look at that thing. Just a little shower right from that cloud right there. Yeah, it's coming right for me. That's actually a good rain. That'll stop me for a couple hours if that hits us. Hopefully it just swings over here and hits this guy in this green combine right here. that guy. Not these combines. The rainstorm missed us. It went over there towards, well, actually went past the green guy. But that's good. He's cutting lentils. He doesn't need that. I raised my header up. I got a little taller stubble here. This crop's taller. It's healthier. So I could leave a taller stubble, which means less rocks, which is good because I'm doing 8.5, 9 miles an hour. And the combine's definitely doing different. Right now I'm running about 25 to 27 bushels an acre. Around the outside perimeter, it was probably about 15 to 18 because it's just less around the outside edge. But if it stays at this, 22, that should be 20 to 25 bushel average, which would be pretty close to what we were thinking. So yeah, awesome. Praise God. That's good. Bushels.
This country is so different. So we stopped cutting on the fields over here because too many green heads in there mixing with it, and it was just not right. So we drove around a little bit. We found a field about 4 miles that direction, moved a lot of the stuff over there, and then I get a ride back to my combine, B-Spine, and the vehicle's almost skidding off the road. I left my camera in the combine. Well, it rained out of nowhere and everything is just soupy. I mean, like, okay. So I radio the guys. I'm like, you guys get rained out over there? Nope, it's perfectly dry. Okay, so I'm slowly roading my combine over to where they're at. And I'm trying not to make a mess, but it's sticky. Really sticky.
Not sure how I did this, but check this seat out. Look at that. You can swivel like 15, 20 degrees. I didn't know that. I don't know what I hit to do that, but it's kind of cool. All right, first combine I've ever had that seat swivel in. That's kind of neat. So when you're dumping on the go, I can see a little better there. When our truck driver finally shows up, Brad, start dumping on the go. Where are you? He's coming. He's coming. I currently have this combine set for feed rate to do roughly, no capacity limiting factor at the moment. Oh, cool. Set to do 9 miles an hour max speed. This header, it does a pretty good job. This FD250, it's an FD2 Macdon case branded head, and it's got a flex point here, a flex point there. Our headers don't flex at all, they just rock and float on the feeder house, which is this right here. There's the head right there. So this thing is amazing. It's up, down, all around. It's flexing here, flexing there. It's quite a remarkable head. But with that, what I'm getting at is it's got the longer sections on it, the knives, the parts that cut back and forth are longer, which means I can go faster because there's more opportunity for that straw to get sliced off. So I can do 9, sometimes 10 miles an hour if it's not too heavy of crop, and it's still clean back here, and that's amazing. That's amazing. Our headers, if we go above 5 or 6, you start leaving heads behind you. Now, if we put brand new cutter bars on, brand new guards, we could probably get that speed up there. Ours they got a lot of rocks in them, so, I mean, but it's still pretty remarkable. And this combine right now, it's trying to keep its engine load around that 90% or so. It's at 78 right now. It's see it jump up to 80. And so it's dropped us down. It's saying, uh-oh, you got some excessive chaff going on out the back, or smog, I should say, going in the back. Let's say it's a little green back there right now. And so what it's doing is it's slowing me down automatically. I'm just climbing over a hill right here. It has rocks all over it. All right, we made it over. So this field has some green in it and a lot of ripe stuff. So hopefully it all blends down okay. I'm a little nervous about the green that's in here, but the ripe stuff should blend in by the time it gets into the bin. I've mentioned this in the past, but if you look right here, this is the load of the sieves. It's how much product is on top of the sieves right now, how much smog, how much grain, how much everything. And that green bar really needs to be in the center between those two, and right now it's a little below. So the combine normally would be saying, hey, I got horsepower, I'm not loading the sieves up enough, we need to go faster. But it's going, uh-oh, still having mog issues. There's too much material going inside. We gotta clean that up, so I gotta go slower so the combine can handle that. So I could tell it, well, I'll allow a little more of that. Then it would pick up my speed, and it would load the sieves up a little better. But I'm not as smart as the computer, so I'm just gonna let the computer do its thing. All right, FD2 header complaints. So far, not much. Other than I don't understand a lot of it well enough. That's a complaint. Nothing against the header. I'd love to learn more about how it fully works and how to set it and everything. But I don't have this is my header, so I don't have time to learn that at this point. Someday we'll own one of these and I'll know then. But anyways, I don't like, and I know this is really difficult, but where the support arm here is, and there's the drive motor that drives the chain over 2 sprockets that turns this reel, and then over here, this joint right here, that arm, there's a spot on the reel and it grabs wheat stems with the heads and it flings them up. That's why there's a mound right there and right here and right there. And if the wind's blowing towards you, it just throws them up and they fly over the head and they're gone. And I can turn the reel down, it's on automatic now, really slow, and that helps. That's why if you guys notice, a lot of times I don't have the reel just whipping because I'm trying to keep those heads from flying out onto the ground. There's probably different ways you could set this reel to stop from doing that. The finger, the adjustment of the fingers, you can change the way they flip, and so that they don't flip at the last second, and that might help. So I don't know, that might need to be adjusted, but that is a complaint. Probably could be fine-tuned and fixed. Now, impressions so far of the 9260. Well, I can definitely tell it's got 100 more horsepower than our combines. I mean, I'm doing 7-8 miles an hour and 25-30 bushel wheat, that those would have to do 3-4 miles an hour with a 45-foot head, and I have extra 5 feet on this header. So it's an impressive machine. I love this dual monitor display. These 1200s are beautiful. I love the sound, easily customizable. I'm still learning to navigate on them, but great monitors. Visibility is good in this cab. I was wrong earlier when I said there's an all-new cab. It's not an all-new cab, it's just a redesigned interior to the cab. This is still the same basic square footage of the cab, same windows and everything as I believe the other generations were. I do wish this cup holder was not quite so close to your arm. There's not a lot of places to put it. I know they're trying to work in this area, but it'd be nice if it was over here. They don't want to put it here because this slides back and forth the monitor, so that'd be in the way. There is that one there, and that is nice, but if you want to use that seat, you can't use that cup holder. Storage in here is nice too. I wish these were a little deeper, but again, we're limited by the cab size. They'd have to pull this wall out. Like this radio, I'd love to drop this inside there, but it doesn't, it kind of fits not very well. It's not very deep, it just kind of falls out, and I don't even clip on. I wish there was a little bit more of a ledge here to put stuff in, not flat. Kind of like this, where it's cupped in like that. I wish there was this across the whole thing, but these are really deep storage. You got to put stuff in there. It goes in a ways. There is a cooler underneath, or a refrigerator, I should say, underneath that seat there, and I keep forgetting to use it. I have a lunch right there. Why did I put that in there? I don't know. I forget. It's quiet here. A lot of storage all around, which is nice. Good cooling. The seat's awesome. A+ on the seat. Love it so far. Very comfortable, very customizable. Really nice. 1200s. Again, beautiful. Still learning where some stuff's at. It's a long learning curve, learning how to set the harvest command, you know, fine-tuning it. You can't just say go and everything, you know. The conditions can be different enough that you got to kind of tweak the parameters of the harvest command so it knows where to work in and what's acceptable. And once you get that tweaked, then it's awesome. But so far it's been really nice just running it because I haven't even thought about what to change in settings. And that takes a lot of stress off the operator. A lot of stress. It is not fun to spend the entire day pressing speed up, slow down on the rotor, fan, and tightening and untightening concaves, and opening and closing your sieves to try to figure out why in the world your tank is a mess or your loss is off the charts. It's just frustrating. That's always a pain. So it's nice not having to do that. Definitely nice. This is some heavy crop right here. It's combine slowing way down. Whoa, I just about killed the engine. 140% engine load. See that? It's still running. Let's see what this says. 15, 14, 0, 18, 23. It doesn't even know what to think. It just slammed that thing. 41, 138 bushel, 1,004, 1,500 bushel, 2,000 bushels. That's what I'm talking about. You guys see those numbers? Can you read that? I hope you can read that. We got over 2,000 bushels right there. 2,000 bushels of anchor. I'd like to see you guys pull that one off. Check out my straw pile here. It's getting bigger. Oh, this field's really making this combine work. One minute I'll be going 2 miles an hour, the next minute I'll be going 9 miles an hour, then back to 2 miles an hour. These will be all red, then they'll be back down to low and green. It's just, there's high moisture, low moisture, weeds, all kinds of different things that are just causing this poor combine to struggle to get through it. It's just not consistent, so it's just constantly fighting to try to find the best setup for what it needs here. But it's fun to watch. I just sit here and just watch this thing, and I look at what's ahead. I'm like, okay, what's it gonna do here? And I look down and everything changes. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's what it did, okay. But what I wanna do now, I climb out and take a look at the ground and see what's on the ground. I haven't done a grain loss check in a while, and so I might as well climb out and just see if there's much weed on the ground. It's been doing a pretty good job, but there's always gonna be some loss. Some kernels are pretty light, but I just like to know. So let's shut this down, let's find out. Of course, I parked with the wind blowing that way, so when I open the door, I'll be covered in chaff. That's real smart there. Real smart. Okay. So this was my pass. Looks like the chaff spread pretty well. Center of the combine's right here. Let's just take a look. There's one right there. This is a very unscientific way to do this. There's one right there, there's two. A couple, that's not bad, honestly. That's not bad. They say like, I think it's 12 to 15 per square foot is a bushel of loss. So like out here, I mean, that thing's got to spread pretty far. But I mean, I'm not seeing any grain kernels. You know, center, this is 25 feet from the center. So as we come back in here where the chaff starts to show is where we probably will find some kernels. It's not bad, honestly. I've seen a lot worse. I mean, I'm struggling to find any right now. So, cool. That's good to know. Don't want to be losing grain out the back. That's not a good place to be. Spend all that time and money growing that crop, and then just to throw it out the back of the combine. Don't do that. So, yeah. Check on it every now and then. 8:30 p.m. It's amazing. The sun's already set just right there. It was a dark evening. I think a lot of smoke in the air, a lot of humidity. Killed the sunlight. Didn't have this big, beautiful sunset that I was hoping for, but still gorgeous. Nice red sun. And we finished the Montana field just in time. Montana combine right over there. Big brute with the Montana flag. Finished the Montana field. We'll put a picture up of what this looks like, but we're gonna head now about a mile that way, and they'll be in about a 300-acre field over there, and that'll take a chunk of tomorrow, but we'll get that whacked out if everything runs smoothly and move on to the next one. This says it ran 21 bushels an acre in this field. I think it was more than that. For one, the monitor consistently said 25 to up to 30 at times, so I think that might be a little bit shy of 25 maybe as an average, but we won't know until the numbers are done at the end of the year. But yeah, that's best spring wheat, actually best overall yield of a field, just about, out of all the wheat. Winter wheat might have had a little better in one field, but so we'll see what the next one has. Might even be better. We finished the Montana field and just switched over to the other field next to it. It is too green. Oh, it's green. I gotta move forward here. Fill it up. There we go. Okay. Anyways, too green, and my arm's almost out of fuel. I'm getting on a couple bars, and Dad's almost out of fuel, so we're gonna shut down for the day. So tomorrow, we'll pick it up.